The approach that we are taking by employing the resources that the government has, especially the human resource from Ngao, will be of great use or help to our ministry, and on behalf of the ministry, want to thank you for really coming to our hand. And I think this is the right step towards us making sure that we have the right, correct, dependable farmers' data that we will use in future.
Your Excellency, we are very happy for providing us with this opportunity to be of help to the country and to your administration by assisting in putting together a national farmers register. Your Excellency, mine is just to assure you that in this ministry, we will abide by the directive you have given that you require all public servants, including Ngao officers, to comply with the law, which requires us to be professional, neutral, impartial, and serve all Kenyans without any discrimination on the basis of any division whatsoever. We should refrain ourselves from politicizing the public service or getting engaged in activities that go against the law of public service. In particular, we have requested all our Ngao officers to read the Public Officer Ethics Act, sections 15, 16, 17, which calls on our impartiality and service to the people of Kenya, impartially, professionally, and without affiliation to any section of our country's fabric.
The national government administration, the Ngao family, has the necessary capacity and expertise to collect for us this data. So our regional commissioners and county commissioners, this is your first assignment from the President of the Republic of Kenya, who came to office 3 months ago. I would like to urge you to take this exercise very seriously, deploy your assistant chiefs and the chiefs, supervise them, and within a short time, let us have the correct database. Let us project the right image for government, that we are there to serve the people, not to suppress them. We are there to assist the government to do positive things, and it is possible.
Na dawa ya kupunguza gharama ya maisha ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunawasaidia wakulima wazalishe chakula zaidi. Hizi interventions zingine ni short term. But the surest way to ensure that we manage the cost of living, and 52% of the budget of every Kenyan goes to food. If we manage to reduce the cost of food so that the budget of every Kenyan that goes into food purchase goes down, we will begin the journey to bring the cost of living in our republic. And the intervention by government to make sure that we reduce the cost of living is the intervention around production. As you have been informed, the attempt to intervene at consumption is not sustainable. But the best intervention is at production. And that is why we want to have a database of all our farmers so that we can recommend to our farmers, because we have done soil surveys across the country, we can recommend to our farmers the correct fertilizer in the correct quantities, delivered at the correct time, so that we can increase our productivity, enhance our production, and produce enough supply of food and all our other food crops. So that is the intervention we want to work using the whole of government approach. And that's why you see all the ministries that are represented here. We're going to deploy all the resources of government in ensuring that our intervention in production, in reducing the cost of inputs, so that we can assist the farmers to produce more, is not only successful, but it is scaled up so that we can reach every farmer in the Republic of Kenya. And we want to reach the farmers in a timely manner. We have to get rid of brokers. We have to get rid of middlemen. We have to get rid of conmen. And I want to say here that corruption is not going to be part of this government. The people who are used to shortcuts, cartels, the brokers who are waiting outside there, I want to assure you we will do whatever it takes to make sure that we get rid of the corrupt in our system and make sure that government services get to the destination which is intended, to the farmers when it is fertilizer subsidy, and all the other services to the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. And we need a concerted effort as a whole of government approach to make sure that we deliver. We've called you as the largest government network that we have, from the regional commissioners all the way to the assistant chief and the Nyumba Kumi people. That whole machinery should be mobilized to register our farmers. We know their acreage. We know the crops they are doing. And we also know the quantities of fertilizer they need, so that we can organize the ecosystem for us to make sure that that fertilizer is available. We've also decided that there are 110 National Cereals and Produce Board depots are not sufficient, and we are going to deploy this fertilizer now using the 1,800 stockists around the country, so that we can reduce the distance that every farmer has to travel to get affordable fertilizer. Also, to get rid of the brokers and the middlemen and the people in between, we've decided that we are going to employ technology, the e-voucher, which has been frustrated for a long time by cartels and people who want to continue to benefit from shortcuts, is now going to be the primary tool for the delivery of affordable fertilizer. Farmers will access fertilizer on e-voucher with their stockists, and we are going to ensure that that whole exercise is put together. The Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of ICT, the Ministry of Interior, all will be working together to ensure that we deliver on that commitment. And all we are asking you is to mobilize the national government officers working under you down to Nyumba Kumi to make sure that this exercise of registering farmers, so that we can do a targeted approach for the delivery of government services, in this case fertilizer, to get to the farmers in a timely manner, as I have said, the appropriate fertilizer in the correct quantities. The drought that we have witnessed in Kenya, the severest in 40 years, has decimated 2.5 million livestock in Kenya. We have so many people. 4.2 million people are faced with hunger. And this will not change shortly. We're going to be here for a while. And we must do something about it. And the quickest and the most efficient intervention we can do for ourselves as a country is to plant trees every time, everywhere, continuously. Every Kenyan is supposed to plant minimum of at least 30 trees per month. That's just 1 tree per day. If the provincial administration, if the national government officers can prioritize, and every nyumba kumi person can identify the areas along the riverbanks, along the roads, encourage the farmers in all the areas that we need to plant, in the hilly areas, the degraded areas. Every officer must know the target areas for planting of trees. And we must mobilize community. We must mobilize society and explain to them the reason why it is important for us to plant trees. It is not for the gratification of anybody. It is not because the president wants it, because it is an existential imperative. It is a necessity, and it is not good for your neighbor. It's good for yourself and your children and the future. As responsible citizens, as responsible members of humanity, we cannot destroy our home. As things are now, our home is in very bad shape. And we need to do something about it. And it is everybody to do their part. So I do expect, going into the future, that the national government officers under the Ministry of Interior will support government, will support ministries, will support counties in ensuring that the people of Kenya benefit and understand the programs that are being run for their benefit by the national and the county governments.
Ndugu yangu, kwani hizi app za loans natakaje ndio anipe loan?
Sasa nikuulize ndugu yangu, unataka kufanya nini yodo?
Nataka ku expand business, nitaweka gari nyingine.
Oh, sasa bro, acha nikueleze. Kuna app inaitwa VIP. Unaona sasa, ukiwa na hii app, ni app yenye inakusaidia kumanage busy yako. Sasa wewe kama mse wa taxi, ukimanage transactions zako through VIP for the next 3 months, unaweza get access to loan. Na pia kulingana na design yenye unakopa na unalipa hiyo loan, wanaweza kupatia pia access to a better handsome amount ya loan. Unanipata ndugu yangu?
Nakupata. Hiyo kwanza iko verified.
Kabisa. Sasa download VIP leo na uexpand business yako in the next 3 months, au sio?
Kabisa bana, hata niweke sahi.